Alright, I'm sailing out of Majuro Atoll now. And I'm heading west now towards Kosrae. This is what it looks like out there. It's actually pretty favorable weather though. I got 20-25 knots pushing me towards Kosrae. Definitely a bit rocky and bumpy, and dipping my boom in the water every once in a while. I should be safe throughout the night, clear of any other atolls or pieces of land. I'll probably just be waking up to the occasional jibe. It's all good. It's my second day. This is a knife/marling spike that was given to me from a guy named RJ, who ended up helping us out big time when we capsized while rowing north of Puerto Rico. And he hooked me up with this sweet knife, which has been like my go-to knife on the boat. You call that a knife? That ain't a knife. This is a knife. It's very good, in fact. Sweet as. Now that's a knife. So this is coming to the end of third day on the water. Fourth day. We've been pretty tired. A lot of jibing and fooling around with that wind vane gear. But this is some of the nicer conditions I've had. Oh, look at that wave. Woo. Yeah, like I was saying, here's some of the nicer conditions I've had. Pretty smooth. Fully, both my sails up. It's been a tough sail. I haven't been able to get too much sleep, but I have cooked all my vegetables, which is a good feat in itself. Last night, I'm pretty sure I saw dolphins. Oh, there's a flying fish. Probably can't see it, but he's flying. A pack of dolphins joined me last night in the bioluminescence. I thought I saw them. I could have been hallucinating though too. That's always a possibility. Anyways, the way it's looking right now is I've got 135 nautical miles to go. It's gonna be pushing it tight for me to make it tomorrow before the sun sets. Cutting it close, but I'll give it a go. Look at that leg. Nicely cut up. Got a cut on the toe, cut on a toe over there, another cut over there, cut on the hands, cut on the hands. Ugly face. Ah! Time to take down the whisker pole. What do I gotta do? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I'm gonna put on some gloves. Don't want to hurt these beautiful hands of mine. Okay, now I think I'm ready. Okay, what do I do? Oh yeah, so I'm taking down the whisker pole. So I just got to let go of the general line a bit while I pull on the furling line. Just slide it in there, and look at that. General is just rolling right in there. Okay, now this is the tricky part. I gotta make a move to the front of the boat, the bow, without falling in. Don't fall in the ocean, don't fall in the ocean, don't fall in the ocean, go fast, but don't fall in the ocean, go fast, but don't fall in the ocean, don't fall in the ocean, don't fall in the ocean. Okay, sweet. I made it. Now I just gotta hold on to this pole while I take it down, and then just balance and untie that. Probably could have untied that first. Okay, no, then I do this and I slide this back down there, so it's sort of holding. Somewhat secure. Go take that out of there. Okay, I gotta undo this so I can then pull the pole back. Don't wanna fall overboard. Don't fall overboard. Don't fall overboard. Okay, now then I slide that in there. Now I can take this off because I'm gonna secure it to the boat, and then I'm pretty much done. Boom.
Lando! Kosrae, you can see it on the horizon there right in front of the mast. 5 days from Majuro to here. I might be able to sneak in before sunset. I'm gonna make a call here pretty soon because otherwise I'm gonna heave to and just slowly drift towards the island. Well, it was a very close call. I was probably within half an hour or an hour of making a safe entrance into Lele Harbor this evening. That is, safe being with light. I could have made the call and sailed right up close, but then I might have been in a tricky situation getting away from the lee shore. So I decided about 20 miles out to heave to, which is basically doing this. I've just got a reefed main, although you could use a full main in lighter winds. I've stalled the boat to wait out before I head that way. So I'm gonna have to spend the next 12 hours or so like this. Not the most comfortable. It's better than risking the boat on the reef in the dark. Better safe than sorry. The mountains hiding in the clouds over there. That's the island of Kosrae in the Federated States of Micronesia. And this is definitely like one of the more exciting, nervous moments I've had of the trip. It's a tight little entrance into the harbor and I just have to be really on point. It should be straightforward. The wind is pushing me in there. I know there's breaking waves on either side of the entrance, which I'm hopefully going to get to surf. Not on this boat though, hopefully. I just had to like make sure everything is in check. I've got my yellow quarantine flag up to let them know that I haven't checked in, cleared customs or anything yet. And I got my anchor ready to be deployed. Yeah, and then I'm just ready. I'm well fed. I've had some tea. I'm pumped, as you can see. And it's a bit gusty, bit of rain falling just now. Oh, a nice little rainbow over there. I think Kosrae is going to be land of the rainbows. It's got that sort of beautiful Hawaii feel to it, or South Pacific feel. Ain't no atoll here. Looking forward to some fruit. All right. See you in harbor. Peace. Shaka, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, fist pump. Nice breaking waves there. Decent breaking waves there. Look at this place. Beautiful. I'm very glad that I didn't use the chart on the way in because I would have been over there on that reef. Wow. I'm here in Kosrae in Lele Harbor. Been here now 3 days. I got here and the first day basically noticed that my knee was infected. Next day went to the hospital, got antibiotics, started antibiotics, and now it's day 3 and the knee's still sort of sore. That first night was actually quite painful. Didn't have a good sleep. You know, it's sort of funny because I had just come from sailing on a very rocky and uncomfortable-ish boat and then got to this calm harbor and I probably had the worst sleep of the whole time. Kosrae seems beautiful, really friendly people, lots of smiles, and they speak Kosraean here. It's very lush and green and these big jagged peaks, sort of like a Hawaiian landscape. I got my neighbors here from Oregon who have invited me for Christmas dinner, which will be tomorrow. All is well. at the Lele ruins on Lele Island in Kosrae. Apparently these dwellings were abandoned soon after the missionaries came. This whole island was converted within 20 years, and apparently in the process they even left the remains of their last king. It's pretty amazing. Most of this island has been built by these people by just piling up coral rock. This is where the royal sort of chief and his servants and family lived, and all the commoners lived on the main Kosrae island. I guess they were pretty powerful people. They were known to have exerted their influence throughout Micronesia, and pretty interesting. It's a beautiful spot. It's sort of hidden right behind a bunch of people's homes here on the island. The trail to get here was actually just behind the hardware store. I just had to walk alongside a fence and then I was back in here.
Kumbaga is how are you?
Well, I just successfully tacked my way out of Lele Harbor in Kosrae. You can just see the leftover bits of the sleeping lady, or sleeping woman. You can see her tits there. You can't see her head. Her head is now hiding behind the mountain. That's where I was for the past almost 2 weeks, and was on antibiotics for 10 days. I'm off them now, but my cut is still actually open, which is a bit concerning. It did start to heal and close up, but it hasn't completely done so yet. You can sort of see it's down to a small band-aid at least. Yeah, getting out of the harbor was pretty tricky. It's probably 300 feet at its most narrow point, and I had to tack back and forth because the wind was just coming straight in there. 5 tacks. I was hoping to get out earlier when the current was pushing me out a bit more, but immigration forgot about me and they came about 3 hours late. It's been a long process checking out of here, 3 to 4 days. But the people of Kosrae are super friendly, and I loved it, and I'd love to come back someday if I can ever make it here somehow. It's a great island. That is interesting. I've never seen the horizon look like that before. It's like there's a rainbow trying to come out of the horizon. Hi guys! Hello! Hi! Helicopter. 5 days, almost 6 days, I guess, to get here to Lekiniok from Kosrae. Seems like it's been a lot longer than that. It's some pretty slow days, light winds, but I've also been going against a current. If you notice, my knee that was infected and looking pretty gnarly is still not fully healed. I've gotten some little zits in other places that are quite sore, one big one on my butt. Definitely concerned about the knee, hoping it's gonna heal fast. I hear an engine, but I don't see an engine. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to stopping in this little atoll, small little couple islands. I think there's about 1,000 people living here though. I'm gonna probably spend the night here. Definitely hear something. Where's that noise coming from? Aha! Spotted. It's a plane. That's the first plane I've seen actually. Lekiniok. There's the pass I need to slip through to get into the atoll. I came in, sailed in, looking for a place to anchor. There was about 10 to 15 kids screaming and shouting and all excited on shore. As I got to shore, a guy met me there on land. He showed me where I could put my surfboard, and then he walked me towards where there was a feast happening. And it was actually a ceremony for swearing in a new tribal clan chief. There's this absolutely massive, just massive plate of food. I was curious if everybody was actually going to dig in and just eat all day, but the second the ceremony was over, like most people just took off. The chief was sort of left by himself at the table. Yeah, Seraphin took me around and showed me half of the island, basically. Gave me a little tour, brought me back to his place. I'm feeling pretty rough right now. Gotta admit it. It appears the infection that was in my knee has spread. And now I've got this thing here, which was just like a little zit that I popped. And as I was popping it, it was quite painful. And now this is all swollen. And it's super sore. It's actually sore to walk on. Open infected wound, just chilling. It's just a pain in the ass. I feel super low energy right now. And I started taking one antibiotics, which is, I don't know if it's the right move or not. I don't really have many other options. Bummer. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm definitely concerned about the prospect of finding a doctor or a hospital for that matter. There's none here where I'm at. My buddy Seraphin is talking about coming and paddling out to pick me up, but he hasn't done that yet. So I don't know if he's waiting for me to signal to him or if he's just having a slow morning and he's going to come in. That's nasty, eh? Feels really good to get that out of there, though, too. It's like a pus-filled rag of mostly pus mixed with a bit of blood. Double rainbow! Hello! Whoops, sip, 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 So it is, I don't know what day it is, day 500 maybe? 14th day at sea since leaving Kosrae. So I'm now 548 miles from Palau, which means in the last 24 hours I have made it 108 miles. Not bad. I'd say that's about my average. I made the call that I was just going to go for it, get to Palau, and hope that I didn't need to amputate my leg. Thankfully, my leg hasn't fallen off, and I think stuff is healing slowly. My whole foot actually swelled up, and I was not feeling good, not looking good. I was pretty concerned. There's times when I have a little bit of a fever, which concerns me quite a bit. And my wind speed, it's been pretty good recently. Pretty steady. I'd say I'm about 15 east-northeast. My weatherman on shore, Dylan, let me know that I'm supposed to expect some pretty strong winds and big swells next week, right around the time that I arrive in Palau. So we'll see. Maybe I'll sneak in before they come. If not, it could be a pretty interesting entrance into Palau. I'm not really looking too forward into that entrance because it's a bit of a tight reef pass that stretches for quite a ways. So I'm gonna have to pull out some pretty slick maneuvers with the sail. But yeah, I mean, life on the boat has been, I don't know, I've been resting, just trying to stay off my butt because of that sore in my butt. So I've been lying down quite a bit, listening to some podcasts, mostly reading and listening to Chinese lessons in the background. And then, yeah, you know, cook meals, adjust the sails. Very simple, pretty laid-back life right now. You know, fix stuff when it breaks. Thankfully, not too much is breaking. And all's well. This is the first time I've seen that. There's just like a massive fish feeding frenzy with some birds trying to get scraps, and I guess the little fish as well, but hundreds, if not thousands of tuna. I sort of feel like the ocean used to look like this all the time, everywhere, but it's a bit rare occurrence now. I just had a squall pass. Always happens, super strong winds, and then it sort of on the back end of it, there's almost no winds. That's why I got the sails flopping around like this now. Still a little bit of wind, and it should pick up again pretty fast here. Looks like, oh, there's just birds everywhere. This is obviously, must be some sort of upwelling, a current around here or something. Ah, yes, actually, I think I remember seeing it on the map. It's the Orific Rise. Yeah, birdie, I see you. I hear you. An interesting couple days here. Not last night, but the night before. I was reading this book, Monkey, and all of a sudden I heard a smack, and a big flying fish had hit off the side of the boat and starts flapping around on deck, and I heard it, and I got up out of bed, and I climbed outside, and I saw it, and it's this big, juicy, nice-looking flying fish, and I thought, ooh, I'd love to eat this. I haven't had a fish since that tuna a long time ago. I don't know, I looked at its eyes, and I just decided to let it go and throw it back into the ocean. And then went back to bed and picked up the book that I was reading in bed. The very next paragraph, it describes how a fisherman had brought a fish to this gentleman, and there were two live carp with really shiny looking eyes, bright eyes. And he looked at them and saw that there was something special about these fish, and he decided to return them back to the river. A few days later, a week later, the people he is traveling with attempt to murder him and kill him, and they throw him into the river to drown. He gets rescued by the Dragon King, who is repaying the favor because the Dragon King had represented himself as this fish. And so, then listen to this. Last night, I get up just to check on things. I don't know, see the course, make sure everything's all good out there. And I hear a sting! I'm like, oh no, what was that? Something just broke. Couldn't figure it out, and then finally I figured out that it was inside one of the wind vane blocks, like rolly things, had pulled right off and snapped. And I had to figure out a fix. I looked up and I saw that there was a ship, maybe 3 miles from me, if that. I could see the lights on it. I was like, wow, that's pretty close. It looked like we were almost on a straight up collision course. I hailed him and said, hey, like, do you see me on the AIS? And he's like, yeah, I'm just altering my course now. Don't worry, you can stay on your course. And I eventually called him back because I was really curious. He's like, where are you coming from? Where are you going? What are you carrying? And he's like, coming from Australia, carrying coal to Japan. And I realized that if that thing hadn't snapped and I hadn't altered my course out of the way,
then that ship would have been bearing down on me a lot sooner and potentially running me right over. So maybe that was the Dragon King saving me. And then today I happened to stand up on the back stern of the boat, and I don't know why I was doing, maybe just getting a stretch or something, and I looked down into the water and I saw this big dark thing. Like, what is that? What is that? And then I realized it was a whale, and he showed his fin, and I was sailing at this point, so I kept on sailing, and then eventually he did a swim around, turned around. There's a whale following me. Hello! Makes me think that there's probably so many more creatures and fish and whales around the boat that I never see, just because I'm not looking down into the water right around the boat. And because the water is always so choppy, it's hard to see. Recently today I got a text from my brother-in-law saying that there was an 8.0 earthquake off the coast of Papua New Guinea, and that there's a tsunami warning for my area for the next 3 hours, which is probably coming to an end somewhat soon. I don't think I have to be concerned at all about a tsunami out in the middle of the ocean, because I think it's just like a very slow sort of rise and fall. It could potentially create some interesting waves interacting with the other waves, but my leg has healed. I no longer have Vibrio infection as far as I know, although I am getting a weird pain in my foot. This is pretty much healed. The scab on this cut finally fell off about a month later. That was an epic cut. Pretty gnarly. I thought I was gonna lose a limb. I'm not going to. I'm not going to lose a limb. I'm not going to lose a limb. At least that's what I'm hoping. So far I'm safe and I'm sound, and I'm a couple days away from Palau. My weatherman on shore, Dylan, let me know that I'm supposed to expect some pretty strong winds and big swells right around the time that I arrive in Palau, so we'll see. Maybe I'll sneak in before they come. If not, it could be a pretty interesting entrance into Palau. I'm not really looking too forward into that entrance because it's a bit of a tight reef pass that stretches for quite a ways. So I'm going to have to pull out some pretty slick maneuvers with the sail.
I tacked my way in through the reef and sailed up to a concrete dock to clear customs, immigration, and quarantine. I then sailed around into a protected bay and found a mooring ball. My flesh-eating bacteria returned on my head and butt just in time for Julie to arrive and nurse me back to health. She also became temporary captain of Dolce while I paddled into some tight anchorages, where we explored the underwater realm. natural captain. Julie was planning on sailing with me to the Philippines, but the weather altered her course. See who joins me next on the next episode.